Good morning, students. We were discussing about various trigonometric ratios and various different properties of those trigonometric ratios. Okay, so in the last class, we have been dealing with section 8.4, where trigonometric ratios of complementary angles. Okay, and there we have seen that some properties, sine 90 minus a is equal to cos A, and cos 90 minus A is equal to sin A, and tan 90 minus A is equal to cot A, and the same cosec 90 minus A is equal to sec A, sec 90 minus A is equal to cosec A, cot 90 minus A is equal to tan A. And I hope that all of you have by hearted these equations, because we need it. And we have solved some examples using these complementary angles. Okay, keep all this in your mind, because we are moving to the last section of our chapter, Introduction to Trigonometry. Okay, that is section 8.5, Trigonometric Identities. And one more thing, I hope that the exercises, exercise 8.3, 7 questions are there, and you have completed it. Okay, let me remind you one more thing. I will check the notebook. Okay, so don't if you are not writing it regularly, then it will be very difficult for you to complete the notes in a one day. So in order to avoid that, do the exercises regularly. Okay, so let us see what is trigonometric identities. You have heard the word identity, identities. You know many identities, and also you have heard the word trigonometry. And now we are combining this trigonometry and identity together to form trigonometric identities. Let us see, what do you mean by a trigonometric identity? An equation involving trigonometric ratios of an angle is called a trigonometric identity if it is true for all values of the angles involved. Okay, so what are the important words in this equation? First of all, it's an equation. Then it involves trigonometric ratios. Okay, we can call it a trigonometric identity. Okay, when we can call it a trigonometric identity? If it is true for all values of the angles involved. Okay, so suppose we are forming an equation, and it is true for some particular values, not true for all the values of angles. In such case, we can't call that equation as a trigonometric identity. We can call it as just as a trigonometric equation, not a trigonometric identity. So a trigonometric identity means for all values of the angles involved in an equation involving trigonometric ratios, we can call it trigonometric identity if it is true. Now, in this section, we will prove one trigonometric identity and use it further to prove other useful trigonometric identities. Let me remind you one more thing. This section is, this chapter, the whole chapter is very, very important, because we can't avoid any portions. It is because in +1 and +2 you will deadly need each and every point from this chapter. See, even this equation we are going to learn, or trigonometric identities which we are going to learn, you can use it in the higher classes to change. You will learn. Okay, and we are coming to that, but I am saying this, you have to give proper due attention. That is the only way you can learn. Write as many times. Let me remind you, write at least 5 or 6 times each identity to make it thorough. That's the only way. Only by writing or practicing. then only we can you will remember all this. Okay, let us see. You are given a right angle triangle. Let us see. We can recall that an equation is called an identity when it is true for all the variables involved. Similarly, an equation involving all the trigonometric ratios is called a trigonometric identity if it is true for all the angles involved. Now, consider the triangle ABC. Okay, ABC, where it is a right angle triangle. Therefore, we can apply which theorem? Pythagoras theorem, which is AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. Okay, and this is square, not that is typing mistake. Okay, now we are dividing each of the term in equation 1 by AC squared. Okay, we are dividing each of the term by AC squared in the equation 1. And just think why we are dividing it, because if we are dividing the RHS by AC squared, it will give you the result as a 1. Okay, just wait, why we are dividing so when we divide, so we can see that AB squared divided by AC squared plus BC squared divided by AC squared is equal to AC squared by AC squared. So we can open the bracket to AB by AC whole squared, and similarly. And actually, what is AB by AC with respect to the angle AB by AC? What is AB? AB is the adjacent side, and what is AC? It is the hypotenuse, which means AB by AC means it is the cosine of angle A, that is cos A. AB by AC means cos A. Similarly, BC by AC. BC means what? BC means the opposite side. Okay, and opposite side by hypotenuse. Clear? So it will give you the value of sine A. Sine A means BC by AC. Clear? And therefore, and one more thing, AC by AC whole squared also. So we can write cos squared A plus sine squared A is equal to 1, and this is our first identity. Cos squared A plus sine squared A is equal to 1. We are calling it as equation number 2. So this is our first identity. It is very simple actually, but it is what we can say, it is one of the basic concept, basic identity, because as long as you are dealing with the mathematics, especially trigonometry, anywhere you can expect a problem where we can make use of this identity. That much these, especially these identities are important, specifically this identity. Okay, and again I am telling you, because in +1 and +2 you will learn this calculus. Okay, in calculus you have differentiation as well as integration, and some of the functions just here all. Don't worry about, sir, I'm not understanding. No problem at all. Okay, only for your knowledge how much important all these identities. That's why I'm telling all this. Don't worry about, sir, we are not following you now. No problem. So in sometimes some functions are not we can't do anything on that functions. So sometimes some functions, at that time you can use these identities to change the shape. You will learn in higher classes. And one more thing, it is very interesting also, because okay, leave all that behind. Let us go to let us form the next identity. Now similarly we can prove another identity also, this one. 1 plus tan squared A is equal to sec squared A. Okay, you can prove it actually very easily. Just divide the equation 2 by cos squared A. Okay, what is cos squared A by cos squared A? It is 1, and sin squared A by cos squared A means tan squared A, and 1 by cos squared A means sec squared a. Okay, that's why in the earlier we have told that we will prove one trigonometric identity and use it further to prove other trigonometric identities. That is our aim. So we have formed our second trigonometric identity. Now the third one. Cot squared a plus 1 is equal to cosec squared a. So what were the identities? Cos squared a plus sin squared a is equal to 1, and then 1 plus tan squared a is equal to sec squared a, then or 1 plus cot squared a is equal to cosec squared a. These are the only three identities you have to learn in this chapter. But these identities are very important. Okay, we will solve some examples that then you may realize where all we can make use of these identities. So let us go to first question. Express the ratios cos a, tan a, and sec a in terms of sin a. Okay, we are asked a question that we want to express cos a, tan a, and sec a in terms of sin a. So we know using our identity, trigonometric identity, cos squared a plus sin squared a is equal to 1. That is clear. What is our aim? We want to express cos a in terms of sin a. So what do you mean by cos squared a? It is actually not cos 2a, it is cos square a. Okay, and sin square a. Fine. Now cos squared a is equal to 1 minus sin squared a. Clear? We are just taking the sin squared a to the next side. Now what is cos a? It is plus or minus root of, square root of 1 minus sin squared a. And who can tell me what is the exact value of cos a from this equation? Means, is it minus into minus square root of 1 minus sin squared a, or just positive square root of 1 minus sin squared a? Which is true, because we have plus or minus. And let me give you one hint also. Only one of the answer is true, because the other one is wrong. Which one is correct? And also tell me the reason also. Just think, all of you. We have already discussed it, but you have to think. Cos a will be equal to positive square root of 1 minus sin squared a. Because if we are taking the value negative, whatever be the quantity which is coming inside into square root of 1 minus sin squared a, we are taking a value negative. We know that the value of the cos lies between 0 and 1. Okay, here. Okay, that is why we can't take a negative number. So we can remove minus square root of 1 minus sin squared a. Instead, we can write cos a is equal to root of 1 minus sin squared a. So we have completed our first section, where we have used sin a to write or to represent cos a. Okay, now just do one thing. How we can denote tan a? We know that tan a is equal to sin a divided by cos a. Now instead of this cos a, just substitute this one. That is, tan a is equal to sin a divided by square root of 1 minus sin squared a. So tan a is also complete. Now how to write sec a? We know that sec a is equal to 1 by cos a, but cos a is equal to root of 1 minus sin squared a. Therefore, sec a will be 1 divided by square root of 1 minus sin squared a. We are just rearranging only. Don't get worry about this is very tough. We are writing sines, cos, tan, cot. It is very confusing. Don't worry. Just go with the flow. I am here to help you. If you are facing doubts or difficulty, you can ask me. No problem. Now, Look at our next example. Prove that sec a into 1 minus sin a into sec plus tan a is equal to 1. Okay. So look at the question again. An LHS is given to you. We want to prove that the LHS is equal to RHS, which is LHS is equal to 1. The resulting quantity is 1. We want to prove that. In such kind of questions like prove that, or let it be 1 or any value, always first step should be we have to write the reciprocal ratios or write the trigonometric ratios in terms of sine and cos. As I have told you, the basic or the basic ratios are sine and cos, because actually from sine and cos we can derive all the other ratios. So convert all the ratios that is given in the question to the sine and cos. Actually you can convert it here, because look here, instead of this sec you can write 1 by cos a, and 1 minus sin a is already in the form of sin a. Next, again sec comes. There also you can write 1 by cos a. Now we know that tan a will be equal to sin a divided by cos a. Okay, so that is our first step. If you are writing just like this, then you will know how to solve further. Just write all this and move. Just by looking at the steps, you can think of how you should move. Develop your thinking skill. You can yourself can develop the thinking skill. Now look at it. We are writing in terms of sine and cos. That is 1 by cos a into 1 minus sin a into 1 by cos a plus sin a by cos a. Now look, we have 1 minus sin a into, we have this cos a is this is the denominators are like terms, so we can just add it like fractions. So 1 plus sin a divided by cos a, and we can just multiply it. We will get 1 minus sin a into 1 plus sin a divided by cos squared a. You know that a plus b into a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So 1 minus sin squared a divided by cos squared a. But what is 1 minus sin squared a? Using our identity, we can say that 1 minus sin squared a will be is equal to cos squared a. So cos squared a divided by cos squared a is equal to 1. That is equal to RHS. How easy is it? We are just rearranging. Nothing we had done. We have just used only the identity in the last step. Till there we have used only rearrange basics. Clear? Fine. Now we are moving to our next example, example 14. Prove that cot a minus cos a divided by cot a plus cos a is equal to cosec a minus 1 divided by cosec a plus 1. So whatever be given in the question, look at the LHS. You have some cot, cos, all that, and in the RHS you have cosec, all that. As I have told you, just convert the given ratios in the form of sine and cos. Here you can convert cot a as cos a by sin a, right? And cosec a can be written as 1 by sin a. Proceed like that. We can solve it. Let us see. So cot a minus cos a divided by, we are taking LHS. Cot a minus cos a divided by cot a plus cos a. Now instead of this cot a, we can just write cos a divided by sin a minus cos a, the whole divided by, again, cos a divided by sin a plus cos a. Now what we are doing? Now we are taking this cos a common outside. Clear? So we will be getting cos a into 1 by sin a. Cos a is taken outside, so it will be remaining as minus 1. The whole divided by, again we are taking cos a outside, that is 1 by sin a plus 1. So this cos a gets cancelled. What is remaining? 1 by sin a minus 1 the whole divided by 1 by sin a plus 1. What is 1 by sin a, or the reciprocal of sin a? It is cosec a. That is cosec a minus 1 divided by cosec a plus 1, which is equal to RHS. That is we want to prove. So we are actually doing only the rearrangement. Nothing more is we are doing here. Okay, but in some questions we have to do some simplifications also. Now another question. Prove that sin theta minus cos theta plus 1 the whole divided by sin theta plus cos theta minus 1 is equal to 1 by sec theta minus sin theta. Okay, and just look at the question. Actually the terms are same, or the only difference is in the positive and negative sign, but it makes the whole answer different. Okay, so keep that in mind whenever you are writing any trigonometric ratios. Beware of the signs. Okay, if you are mistakenly put a negative sign, the whole answer will be wrong. Keep that in mind. So how we are going to solve this? Because in the previous examples we have used, or we have just simplified cot and cosec in terms of, we have just converted it into sin and cos. But look at here, you are directly given sin and cos. Then here how we will proceed? Let us see. We have to make use of the identity sec squared theta is equal to 1 plus tan squared theta. And you know why we have taken it? Because look at the RHS. It is given in the RHS itself, 1 divided by sec theta minus sin theta. That is why we are thinking in that way. Okay, so you are given to use this identity to solve this or prove that LHS equal to RHS. Again, let me tell you, sometimes there may be another way to prove that this is the LHS equal to RHS, but in the question it is specifically asked to you use this identity to prove that this LHS equal to RHS. Now since we will apply the identity involving sec theta and tan theta, let us first convert LHS in terms of sec theta and tan theta by dividing numerator and denominator by cos theta. Because as we are using the sec theta and tan theta, we have to convert the LHS in terms of sec and tan. How we will form it? We can see just by, we have to divide numerator and denominator by cos theta. Now look what happens. We are dividing both LHS and RHS by cos theta. So sin theta by cos theta, what happens? It becomes tan theta. Now cos theta, I mean minus cos theta divided by cos theta, it will result in just minus 1. Now 1 by cos theta, it will give you sec theta. Similarly in the denominator also, tan theta plus 1 minus sec theta. Now we are, it is only a rearrangement. We are writing tan theta and sec theta together. That is tan theta plus sec theta. I'm just writing negative 1 in the right side. That's all. And we have just written a bracket. That's all. Similarly in the denominator also, we are writing tan theta and sec theta together. That is tan theta minus sec theta plus 1. Now look what we are doing. It is important because there is no other way. Means here we are multiplying and dividing both numerator and denominator by the term tan theta minus sec theta. Okay, just wait. Some of you may be having a doubt, sir, why we are doing or multiplying and dividing tan theta minus sec theta? Why we are doing so? The only answer is we are doing so just to get the answer, just to get the solution. That's the only answer to that question. And you will be thinking, sir, how we will remember to write it or to multiply this tan theta minus sec theta in such kind of question. That is why I am telling you to write down the homeworks and the exercises by your own, and write each questions at least 5 times. That is why. So we are just multiplying and dividing numerator and denominator by tan theta minus sec theta. Now we are opening the brackets. So that is a plus b, it is actually a plus b into a minus b. So tan squared theta minus sec squared theta, again minus 1 into this one. Therefore sec theta minus or minus into tan theta minus sec theta. In the same way we are opening here also. That is, oh no, we are not opening here. Just let it be like that. Now look at the numerator. We are opening the brackets, so we can see that tan squared theta minus sec squared theta minus, or just okay, minus tan theta plus sec theta. But actually, what is tan squared theta minus sec squared theta? Look here, tan squared theta minus sec squared theta, it is equal to minus 1. Okay, so minus 1 minus tan theta plus sec theta. Now the denominator is just let it be. Now again we are splitting it. Look, by looking at it we can see that minus 1 minus tan theta plus sec theta, just take a minus common. So what happens, this term and this term gets cancelled, only a minus 1 will be remaining. That is why we have written here minus 1 divided by tan theta minus sec theta, and again when this minus 1 is taken to the denominator, we can write 1 divided by sec theta minus tan theta. That is what we want to prove. Okay, so we have proved RHS of the identity. Clear? And this is a slight, a little more expansion has to be, we have to think. So in order to do that, you have to write this example many times. That is the only way you will remember, otherwise you will forget. That is not your problem. But in order to avoid, you can avoid that, you can prevent that forgetting just by writing it again and again. Okay, and get familiar with it. So by this example we have completed this section, and the section 8.4 only 5 questions are there. You are given as homework, and you have some days, tomorrow and day after tomorrow are holidays, so you can use those days to complete the exercise questions, and by this we have completed our chapter. Okay, and in the next class we will be moving to our next chapter. Okay, so all of you write the exercises, and if you have any doubts you can ask me, because again let me remind you, this chapter is very very important. Okay, so keep this in mind. So ask me if you have any doubts. So thank you.